to get my back blown out in peace. You think I got time to talk about a divorce that's a year old?
The moment the judge began to read the verdict, a tense hush fell across the courtroom. You could feel the anxiety pressing against every wall, the eyes locked on the bench, the weight of weeks, months, of back-and-forth arguments building to this one decision. Custody is awarded to the father, Iman Shumpert, the judge said. And with that, the air snapped. Teyana Taylor looked stunned, frozen in disbelief. Her jaw dropped slightly, and her body tensed. She didn't speak. She just stared for a moment before tears started streaming down her face. Her hands trembled as she reached for her attorney. No one could have prepared her for this kind of loss, not after everything she'd fought for. When she finally stood and walked out of the courtroom, the cameras outside were already rolling, and what they captured would echo across the internet for days. Teyana collapsing on the courthouse steps, broken, overwhelmed, and completely devastated. It wasn't just a custody loss, it was the end of something she believed she could hold together. This case was never a simple custody dispute. It was a war disguised in legal language, a battle where both sides refused to back down. At the beginning, Teyana and Iman both requested shared custody, trying to play it civil. But that didn't last long. Behind closed doors, accusations began to pile up. Teyana's team argued she was the stable, nurturing parent, the emotional heart of their children's lives. But Iman's lawyers fired back with claims of instability and emotional strain. They questioned whether Teyana was truly equipped to handle everything, especially with the chaos in her personal life. The courtroom became a minefield of witness testimonies, digital evidence, text screenshots, and sworn statements. Fans followed every headline like it was the next season of a drama series. But even the most tuned-in followers were stunned by what happened as the trial reached its explosive end. The moment that flipped the entire narrative was completely unexpected. In the final week of the hearing, Aaron Pierre's name entered the courtroom record. Suddenly, what was a custody case between two parents became something deeper and darker. Iman's legal team presented a detailed timeline showing Aaron had been around the children regularly. They questioned if his presence created an unsafe or unstable environment, especially given previous rumors of tension between him and Teyana. Reports mentioned disturbing video clips and arguments that allegedly occurred while the kids were present. This wasn't just about Teyana's parenting anymore. It became about her judgment. And in custody court, those decisions matter more than anything. That single move may have shifted the judge's entire perception. Teyana's reaction to Iman's closing arguments was heartbreaking. Eyewitnesses from inside the courtroom said her breakdown was raw and uncontrollable. As Iman's lawyer laid out his final statement, detailing what he believed was a pattern of emotional instability, Teyana whispered, "They're taking everything, over and over." Her face crumpled, her shoulders shook, and her attorney tried to soothe her, but she couldn't stop crying. When the judge returned with the verdict shortly after, Teyana didn't lift her head. She kept it buried in her hands, shielding herself from the moment. That silence in the room wasn't victory. It felt like grief, like everyone had just watched a soul get crushed in real time. As Teyana stepped outside the courtroom, surrounded by a sea of reporters, camera flashes lit up the entire street like fireworks. Her face was frozen for a second, just long enough for people to witness the weight she was carrying. She looked broken, not just exhausted but emotionally gutted. Her lips were tight, her eyes glassy, and her hands trembled as she tried to hold it all together. And then, without warning, her knees buckled beneath her. Right there on the courthouse steps, she collapsed. It wasn't theatrical. It wasn't planned. It was the rawest, realest moment of the entire ordeal. One of her closest friends, who had been walking a few steps behind her, rushed forward instantly. She threw her arms around Teyana, shielding her from the cameras that refused to stop clicking. Paparazzi were relentless, snapping photo after photo of a woman at her lowest point. Someone screamed out for help. A call was made for paramedics. And yet, even through all the chaos, Teyana could be heard crying, loudly, openly, heartbreakingly. Fans watching the livestream online were stunned. It wasn't just a fall, it was a complete emotional collapse. A gut punch to everyone who'd been rooting for her. "She didn't deserve this," one tweet read. That one message echoed through the digital space, retweeted and reposted thousands of times. And it was true. No matter what the verdict said, no matter what the judge decided, that image of Teyana on her knees, weeping uncontrollably, became the moment people would never forget. It wasn't the legal drama that stayed with them, it was that one haunting photo. A mother who had just lost her children in the eyes of the law. While the internet buzzed and Teyana's name trended globally, Iman Shumpert remained completely silent. No press statements. No exclusive interviews. No appearance outside the courtroom. It was almost as if he disappeared. But then, hours later, a quiet post appeared on his Instagram. It was a simple photo of his daughter, curled up and sleeping peacefully, wrapped in a pink blanket. The caption read, "Always safe. Always loved." The comment section exploded. Some followers praised him, calling him strong, protective, and focused on his daughter's well-being. "You did what needed to be done," one user wrote. But others were furious. To them, the post felt icy, tone-deaf, even. "This is not the time for flexing," someone commented. "You won custody. That doesn't mean you won the right to be cold." The divide between fans was clear. Supporters hailed him as a responsible father doing what was best for his child. Critics saw him as calculated, as someone using a moment of peace to send a message in the middle of Teyana's public heartbreak. The moment the judge began to read the verdict, no clarification, a tense hush fell across the courtroom. No follow-up. You could feel the anxiety pressing against every wall. That silence wasn't just noticed. The weight of weeks, it was loud, months, and it added fuel to an already raging one decision. The celebrity is awarded to the father, Iman Shumpert, and many of them made it clear which side they stood on. Without even saying names, Teyana Taylor, one of Teyana's closest industry friends, posted a black square on their story with the words, "And her body tense. The system fails black mothers every day." She just stared for a moment. A popular singer started streaming down her face. "Don't believe everything her hands trembled as she reached for her attorney. Some truths are too expensive to defend. No one could have prepared her for this kind of loss. These weren't just emotional responses. Not after everything she'd fought for. They were direct, when she finally stood and walked out of the courtroom. The kind of support that the cameras outside were already wronged. And even if you can't say everything across the internet for days. Meanwhile, Teyana collapsing on the courthouse steps, too quiet, broken, overwhelmed, not a single public word from his close friends or family. It wasn't just a custody celebration. Loss. It was the end of something she believed she could hold together. That this case was never a simple custody dispute. Was it strategic? It was a war disguised in legal language, publicly to avoid backlash, where both sides refused to back down. Were they waiting for Teyana to take all the heat alone while they stayed in the shadows? Some insiders believe his team is keeping everything under wraps for legal reasons. Closed doors. Others think they just began to pile up. Optics of gloating while a mother argued she was the stable, the battle has moved far beyond the emotional heart of their children's lives. What once seemed like a private matter between two people claims turned into a quiet and emotional war dividing the entertainment whether Teyana was truly Hollywood to handle everything, especially with the chaos in her personal life. Especially those became a minefield of witness testimonies, started posting subtle messages of support, text screenshots, no names are mentioned, statements, but the meaning is clear. Fans followed every headline like it was the next season of a drama series. But even the most tuned-in followers were stunned by what happened as the trial reached its explosive end. In silence. The moment that flipped the entire narrative was completely unexpected. At the same time, in the final week of the hearing, chosen to remain completely silent. Entered the courtroom record. Even those who have worked with or publicly supported both Teyana and Iman in the past became something deeper and darker. Being watched just as Iman's legal team presented a detailed timeline showing Aaron had been around the children regularly. The line has been drawn, presence created and the internet is watching closely to see who steps over it especially next. Given previous rumors of tension between him and Teyana. Quiet. Reports mentioned disturbing video clips and arguments that allegedly occurred while the kids were present. There have been no TV interviews, Teyana's parenting videos. No became about her judgment spreads. And in custody grieving in real time, those decisions and the world more than anything at all. That single move something about shifted the judge's entire louder than any post could. Teyana's reaction to Iman's closing arguments was quiet kind of dignity in the middle of public inside the courtroom. Others said her breakdown was raw and uncontrollable. She's just doing what she needs to do to hold herself together and protect her child, detailing what he believed was a pattern of emotional instability. It's not Teyana whispered. It's not they're taking everything. It's intentional. Over and over. She's choosing not to explain, her shoulders not to defend, and her attorney tried to soothe the rumors. But she couldn't letting the world talk while she when the judge returned with the verdict shortly after. Silence, Teyana didn't making a statement all its own. She kept it buried in her hands. This isn't just a headline or a trend from the moment. It's a mother going through one of the hardest, most painful experiences of her life. Like everyone had just watched a soul get crushed in real time. As
For
Teyana
many,
stepped outside
it's
the
no
courtroom,
longer just gossip.
surrounded by a
It's
sea of
something
reporters.
deeper.
Camera
And even though
flashes lit up
Teyana
the
hasn't
entire
said a
street
word,
like fireworks.
everyone can feel
Her
it.
face was
As
frozen for a
expected,
second.
fans
Just
erupted
long enough
across
for
all
people to
platforms.
witness the weight she
Twitter
was carrying.
threads broke down
She
every
looked
part of the
broken,
custody case.
not just exhausted,
TikTok
but emotionally
together
gutted.
interviews,
Her lips were
emotional
tight,
edits,
her
and
eyes
expert
glassy,
opinions,
and her hands
Instagram
trembled as she
reels
tried to
captured
hold it
clips
all
from
together.
outside the courtroom,
And then,
overlaid
without
with
warning,
sad music
her
and
knees
support
buckled beneath
messages.
her.
Right there on the
Justice for
courthouse
Teyana was
steps,
trending
she
within an
collapsed.
hour.
It
Videos
wasn't
of fans
theatrical,
crying,
reacting,
it wasn't planned,
and shouting
it
at
was
the
the
injustice
rawest,
flooded social
realest
media.
moment of the entire
She fought
ordeal.
so hard and still
One of her
lost.
closest
One
friends,
post read,
who had been
while
walking
another
a few steps
counted with,
behind her,
Iman's doing
rushed
what a
forward
real father
instantly.
should.
She threw her
The
arms
online
around
world
Teyana,
became a chaotic
shielding
swirl
her
of
from the
support and
cameras that
judgment,
refused to stop
with
clicking.
everyone trying to make sense of
Paparazzi
what
were
just
relentless,
happened.
snapping
It was no
photo
longer
after
about
photo
legal
of a woman
facts.
at her lowest
It was about
point.
emotional truth.
Someone screamed
and
out
whose
for
story
help.
people
A
believed
call
more.
was made for
So where does
paramedics.
Teyana go from
And yet,
here?
even
According
through all
to a
the
few
chaos,
anonymous sources,
Teyana could be
she
heard
might
crying
appeal the judge's
loudly,
decision
openly.
Others say she's not
heartbreakingly.
ready for another
Fans
courtroom
watching
battle.
the live stream
They
online
say
were
she's
stunned.
retreating to
It
focus
wasn't
on
just a
healing
fall
for herself
It was a complete
and for her
emotional
relationship
collapse.
with her children
A gut
outside
punch
of
to
court.
everyone who'd been
Aaron
rooting
Pierre
for
has
her.
stayed completely
She didn't
silent
deserve
since the
this.
ruling. One tweet
No
read,
posts, no
that
reactions,
one message
no
echoed through the
statements.
digital space.
But Teyana
retweeted and
she shared
reposted
it
thousands of times,
soul-crushing quote to
and
her
it was
story.
true.
I
No
gave
matter what
everything
the
I
verdict
had.
said, no matter
That
what
one
the judge
sentence echoed
decided,
louder than
that
anything
image of
else she
Teyana
could have
on her
said.
knees,
Fans
weeping
begged her to keep
uncontrollably,
fighting,
became the
calling
moment
her a
people
warrior,
would never
a
forget.
mother who deserved
It wasn't
better.
the legal drama
Whether she
that
returned
stayed
to
with them,
battle or
it
stays
was
out
that
of the
one haunting
spotlight.
photo.
One thing is
a
clear,
mother who had
her
just
story
lost
is
her
far from
children in the
over.
eyes of the law.
This wasn't just
While
a
the
legal
internet
ruling.
buzzed and Teyana's
It was a
name trended
gut-wrenching,
globally.
emotional
Iman
unraveling of
remained
everything
completely
Teyana
silent.
had built for her
No
family.
press statements.
Iman may have won
no
custody,
exclusive
but
interviews.
the internet is still
no
debating who
appearance
truly
outside
won
the courtroom
or lost.
It was
in this
almost as
painful
if he
chapter.
disappeared.
Teyana's
But
collapse
then,
wasn't
hours
just
later,
physical.
a quiet
It was
post
everything.
appeared on his Instagram.
A mother pushed to her
It was a simple
emotional edge.
photo of his daughter,
Whether she comes
curled
back
up and
stronger or
sleeping
chooses
peacefully,
silence,
wrapped in a
people will
pink
be
blanket.
watching.
They
The
always
caption
do.
read,
And
"Always
if we've
safe,
learned anything
always
from Hollywood,
loved."
it's that
The
no
comment
verdict is
section
ever the final
exploded.
word.
Some
So tell
followers
us what you
praised him,
think.
calling
Was
him
justice
strong,
served,
protective,
or was something
and
bigger
focused
lost
on
that
his
day?
daughter's well-being?
Drop your thoughts below.
You did what needed to be
Subscribe,
done.
hit that bell,
One user
and
wrote,
stay close.
But others
because
were
in
furious.
stories like this,
To them,
the next twist
the
is
post
always
felt
just
icy,
around the corner.
tone deaf,
even. This is not the time for flexing, someone commented. You won custody. That doesn't mean you won the right to be cold. The divide between fans was clear. Supporters hailed him as a responsible father doing what was best for his child. Critics saw him as calculated, as someone using a moment of peace to send a message in the middle of Teyana's public heartbreak.